That's cool. It's a great compliment. I just have to continue to work hard, be the best basketball player that I can possibly be. It's going to be a great challenge. He's one of the greatest players of all time.
Made a switch already, putting Kobe on Michael.
Well, he's now in a postgraduate course.
At the same time, my father always taught me growing up, but every step out there on the court, trying to get that W. No back down to no man.
Kobe has a chance to be what Michael is in this league.
Here's Bryant. Wow! Michael Jordan with 36, Bryant with 33. Kobe has sent a message to everyone else that he is the future.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I am back in the video. This time once again we're going to look at two of the greatest players of all time, that being Kobe Bryant as well as Michael Jordan. And as you guys know, both these players for a brief period in time actually played against each other. And as you guys know in NBA history, to have two top 10 players, they both play shooting guard and their playing careers actually overlap is extremely rare in NBA history. But fortunately for us, we got to see Kobe and Jordan both square off on an NBA court. So with that being the case, today I'm going to wind back the clock and look at the best Kobe vs MJ duels in their playing careers. Now before I do that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so, and if you could like this video, I greatly appreciate it. So that being said, let's get into the video. So when looking at both Jordan and Kobe's rivalry, they played a total of 8 times. For those first 2 times, Kobe, he was a really young, inexperienced rookie, only 18 years old. And in total, he only played 21 minutes in those games. So the first ever Jordan vs Kobe duel was in 1997 on December 17th. Kobe at this point was an established player, but still coming off the bench for the Lakers. In this game, Kobe had 33 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, on 60% shooting. Jordan had 36 points, 4 assists, and 5 boards, on 55% shooting. And in the MJ vs Kobe rivalry, this is the only time they both scored 30 plus points. And some things I do want to note in this game, Jordan had 21 points in the first half when the game was actually in reach. And during that first half, he had some pretty good moments versus Kobe, where the master was schooling the young student.
Watch Michael. Michael's right on him now. Now this is just a quick move. Michael's right up in his face. Chicago Bulls, this is how they play defense most nights. Michael Jordan gets 2 more.
Now after that big first half from Jordan, Kobe in the fourth quarter, which showed himself having 16 total points, including some flashy dunks, gave some points versus MJ himself.
Turn it over to the Lakers, and here's Bryant. You know Michael Jordan is impressed with that. Well, every time that he gets an opportunity from here to the end.
So in total for this game, Jordan, he did get the best of Kobe, but coming away from this game, the story was all about Kobe, as at 19 years old, he became the second youngest player ever to score 30 points in a game. And taking a step back for a second and looking at the rivalry in total, this is the most points Kobe ever scored versus Bulls MJ, and by Jordan scoring 36, that was the most points he ever scored versus Kobe. So once again, this duel was iconic, as both players had some big-time scoring outings. Now staying with the 98 season, only 2 months later, Jordan and Kobe once again would square off in a big-time duel, this time in the 98 All-Star Game. And coming to this game, Kobe already made some NBA history, as he was the youngest All-Star to ever play in the game, and only 3rd reserve ever to start an All-Star Game. Now in this game, Jordan once again, he did get the best of Kobe, scoring 23 points, having 8 assists, 6 boards, on 55% shooting. Kobe had 18 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, on 44% shooting. Those numbers today for an All-Star game, they aren't really gaudy stats, but think back to the 90s, players took these games much more serious. And in this game, it was young versus old, Kobe versus MJ. And once again, both players had some pretty eye-popping and iconic highlights.
The head fake on Garnett. Over him into the lane with the game's first 2. So much for being sick.
Yeah, I think he's okay. He's got the bounce, he's got the... Let's see now if they can increase the tempo.
Here comes Bryant ahead of the field, reverse slam.
Oh, nice. Listen to your all-star coaches, Isaiah.
Well, I listen to him all the time because I was young and afraid like Kobe Bryant.
Count it, plus the foul for Jordan, who now has 8 and a chance for 9.
Bryant puts it on the floor. Hits Garnett, leads half high, lob. Bryant slams it down, and that brings the crowd to its feet.
Bryant puts it
Now, one thing I do want to point out in this game, Kobe had 18 points going into the fourth quarter. At that point, he was outscoring Jordan, the eventual All-Star MVP. And there's a bit of an NBA conspiracy that George Karl, the head coach for the West, actually sat Kobe and benched him for the entire fourth quarter. And why he did that is so Jordan could win the MVP. And if you didn't know, George Karl was a former friend of Jordan at UNC, as he was a coach for Dean Smith back in the day. And for 1 second, can we look at these all-star rosters? On the East, you had Jordan, of course. You also had Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway. You had Reggie Miller, Antoine Walker, Steve Smith, Glenn Rice, Dikembe. I mean, you had a pretty good blend of old talent combined with new upcoming players. And looking at the West, they were also stacked with talent. You had Gary Payton, you had Kobe, of course. You had young KG, you had Shaq, Karl Malone, Tim Duncan, Jason Kidd, Nick Van Exel, David Robinson, even Eddie Jones. I mean, looking at both those rosters, that's some pretty stacked all-star talent, combining old players as well as new up-and-coming youngsters. Now, looking at their next best duel, this came during the 02 season on November 8th. And at this point, Jordan, he was 39 years old, and Kobe was in the middle of his prime, on pace for his best season ever. But on this night in November, Jordan once again got the best of a younger Kobe. As in this game, Jordan had 25 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, on 64% shooting. In the fourth quarter, he added in 10 big points. Now, Kobe in his own right played great, having 27 points, 6 boards, and 5 assists, on 38% shooting a perfect 11-11 from the free throw line. In this specific game, it's kind of lost NBA history as a throwaway game for Jordan and Kobe. But I actually find this game pretty fascinating, as Jordan, he came off the bench for the Wizards, and by scoring 25 points off the bench while being 39 years old, he became the second player ever to accomplish that feat. Also at this point, this was the second most points Jordan ever had while coming off the bench. And late in this game, Jordan had some timely free throws, and Jerry Stackhouse had the eventual game-winning shot.
With the last shot. And he does. Now you have a situation where a guy can go to the basket. If he gets fouled, he has an opportunity for a three-point play.
Kobe Bryant to Shaw. Shaw into the corner. Horry.
Now, skipping ahead only a few months later, Jordan and Kobe once again would square off in the All-Star game. And for Jordan, he was 39 and the oldest All-Star starter in NBA history. And very similar to 98, Jordan and Kobe once again had very similar games, as Kobe in this game had 22 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, on 47% shooting. Jordan in his own right was pretty good, having 20 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, on 33% shooting. And for both these players, they had big-time clutch moments. Jordan had 10 points in the fourth quarter as well as OT, and he had the go-ahead shot over Shawn Marion.
In overtime, and Michael has the ball, again guarded by Shawn Marion. The fadeaway, yes! With 4 and 8/10 seconds remaining.
Now for Kobe in the first OT, he had a game-high 12 points, and he added in some clutch free throws to force double OT.
Only 1 second left, and he has tied the game at 1:38.
And to really gauge how old Jordan was at this point, his coach in the East was Isaiah Thomas, his longtime rival. That's how old Jordan was in the Wizards, and still pretty effective, scoring 20 points in this game and being pretty clutch down the stretch. Now, the last great duel of MJ versus Kobe was actually their last game versus each other. This game was during the 03 season on March 28th. In this matchup, Kobe had an iconic game, scoring 55 points, having 5 boards, 3 assists, on 52% shooting. Jordan had 23 points, 4 assists and 1 steal, on 50% shooting. So Kobe definitely in this game outplayed an old and retiring Jordan. In this specific game, many refer to as the passing the torch moment from Jordan to Kobe. And looking more in depth with Kobe's game, in this game in the first half, he had 40 points and 8 threes. He is the only player ever to put up those figures. And since 2000, he is one of 5 players to score 40 points in a single half. In NBA history, he is one of 2 players to score 40 points in half and shoot above 70%. So in this game, Kobe, he stole the show and had game for the ages. And in total, both players combined for 78 points, the most ever during the Kobe and MJ rivalry. And lastly for this game, it's rumored that Jordan told Kobe, "You'll never fill my shoes."
You know, Jordan gets that win, right? Jordan hits him on the butt and says, "You can put the shoes on, but you ain't gonna never fill them." They say Kobe didn't talk to the team for 2 weeks. Yeah. Like he just went silent. But he was on 1 million. So they said, "Phil, what's up with Kobe? He mad at us?" It was like, "Nah, he ain't mad at you, Jordan." In Washington, it's like, "Jordan, what? 2 weeks ago?" He's like, "Yeah, he told him he can copy him all he want and do all that, but he'll never fulfill those shoes." Hey, they was like, "Yeah, I feel sorry for next time we play Jordan."
2 weeks later.
The player of the game tonight, no brainer. Kobe Bryant, 55 points, including a franchise record 42 in the first half.
So that right there is the overall summary of the Jordan vs. Kobe rivalry and documenting their 5 best ever matchups, going from 97 all the way till 03. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.